Hey everyone, it's Mark Ferguson with Investor More, and welcome to another real estate video. This is one of my complete before and after house flipping videos, so we go over all the numbers, not just the ones that are pretty, the repairs, but we go over carrying costs, financing costs, selling costs, all of that. And on this particular deal, we made $70,000, more than $70,000 on this flip. So it was a really good one. Over the last year, we've had some good ones and some not so good ones. So it's one of the best ones we've had in a while. And it was a manufactured house on 24 acres in northern Colorado. And we've got a before video. It was pretty ugly when we bought it, but it really wasn't that bad of a repair job. And we've some progress videos, and then after we're done, what it looks like there too. And this was even a deal I got from the MLS, not a whole lot of competition. And so it just shows there are deals out there. There are ways to flip houses without having to send thousands and thousands of postcards. And there are houses that you can flip that don't need $100,000 in work too. So we'll get right to the property, and I'm gonna show you the MLS sheet, what it looks like when it first showed up for sale. Here is the MLS sheet that shows the property when it was first listed for sale. And I did not see this one. It was actually Nikki who told me about it, my project manager. She had a search set up for some of her clients who were looking to buy properties in the country. She's also an agent. And she told me about this, and I don't know how I missed it, but somehow I did. But it's listed for $290. We went to see it, knew it was a cheap property. It's very hard to find any kind of country property for less than $400,000 right now. And this one was a little bit farther out than what is ideal, maybe 15 miles east of Greeley, where we're at, Eaton area. So it's kind of far out there. And you'll see in the video, there's not a whole lot out there. There are houses. But it was still a really good price, and it had 24 acres, which is really hard to find lots that big. So I went out there, saw it, and then you can kind of see, you know, in the pictures that it was not in amazing condition. And actually, it wasn't horrible, but it's just full of a lot of stuff. And then the really scary part, I'm going through these fast because you'll see a video of this property too, is the back. So, I mean, the siding was just ripping off it. The roof was really bad, but we knew we could fix that. And it's actually a lot easier than doing a full gut on the interior of the house. So, I think we made an offer for $250. They countered back at $270, and we agreed, closed on it, bought it in 15 days, used private financing to buy it, and we got to work on it right away. So we will show you exactly what the house looks like next. And then, as a reminder, I do have a book, Fix and Flip Your Way to Financial Freedom, which goes over everything we do, from buying, financing, repairing, selling, all that stuff. So you can find that on Amazon. But now you can see what the property looks like when we first got out there. It is a snowy day in Colorado right now. We've had such a mild winter. I was actually driving the Aston Martin with the top down on Sunday, and today we got 4 inches of snow, and it's supposed to be -5 or something tonight. So we knew this lady was moving out soon. We got news that she was out, so even though it's not the most fun drive out here in this weather, it's about 15 miles from where we're at. You just have to come out here and make sure the heat's on, everything's okay, especially when it's going to be this cold. You know, you don't want them to turn the heat off and then have the whole house freeze and flood. But we did buy this from the MLS for $270,000. It was listed for $290. I think it made an offer of $250, and then we ended up getting it for $270. Usually from the MLS, you know, they clean up most of their stuff. However, on some of these distressed sales, good deals, you just have to expect them to leave things, especially kind of in the country like this. So no surprise that we have to take care of some of this junk, campers and different things. The property does have 24 acres though that go back that way, and we're thinking it'll be worth close to $400,000 once we're all done with it, and we'll need probably $40,000 in work, we're thinking. course, that number usually goes up once you start doing the work. But we'll walk in here, take a look. Nice thing about buying houses like this is I don't have to care about the snow being on my feet. It was interesting, because when Nikki and I first walked in here, that stove was going full bore, and then it turned off, so we think that was the only source of heat right now. And then it turned off on its own, so it's set on some kind of thermostat. Must be heating the house, although it does have a thermostat here for a furnace, so obviously it's got a furnace, it just might not be working or something's going on with it. The thermostat was completely off, and then I popped open the little compartment here and their batteries were in backwards. So we got it to turn on, but we'll see if the furnace kicks on at all or not. We'll probably need to work on that too. So this house was very dark, very kind of dingy when I first looked at it, but it's not in horrible shape. You know, there's some drywall work like you can see right there. They've probably put these doors in at some point, but the kitchen isn't horrible. You know, on these country properties with a lot of land, it's a manufactured home. You don't have to remodel the entire thing to make it sell because there's so few properties for sale. So we'll probably, you know, maybe do the countertops, the hardware, and appliances, and leave the cabinets. Don't need to mess with those. Paint everything. The real question is some pretty nasty popcorn, and we'll probably, hopefully, can get that off pretty easily. That'll make a huge difference on it. But we'll come inside, paint, flooring. It's got some weird, I think it's like sheet, laminate type vinyl stuff. And, you know, some of the kitchen work, light fixtures, things like that. Has 3 bedrooms on this side, 1 bathroom. That's also got a master bedroom, another bathroom on the other side I'll show you. So 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms total. And for those of you wondering, we have done a number of these manufactured homes in the country. I think it's probably our 5th or 6th manufactured home we've bought in the last 2 or 3 years. And what a manufactured home is it's brought out here in 2 pieces. So, you know, one half will be on one truck and the other half on another truck, and they're joined together right there. And manufactured means it has a metal frame. If you have the tags, all the certifications, you can get FHA financing, conventional financing on a manufactured home. Not too difficult. So it's not a mobile home, doesn't have an axle, not that bad to finance. All right, on a side note, this is the more disgusting rooms of the house. And I don't know why they had those up. I guess they needed more shade than the blinds would provide. But there's your Bud Light curtains. Going back to the manufactured, modular home is a house that's brought out in pieces like this, but it's all wood, has a completely wood frame. And when they're all wood, it's considered the same thing as a stick-built home. No restrictions on financing. You don't even have to say it's a modular. Pretty much just like building a house here in place, same thing as a modular. So those are some of the differences between them. All right, we'll walk this way. Good sized house. Has the 4 bedrooms plus this kind of office thing. And yeah, you just have to get used to people leaving their stuff on some of these deals. They did, I don't know why that window sill was taken out. If they replaced the window or what happened. You can see some of the flooring there, but we'd replace all that anyway. And here is the master bedroom. It is definitely a little cooler on this side of the house, so I don't think the furnace is firing up. I think it is just that stove heating everything. And then here's the master bathroom, which again is not horrible. And actually one nice thing too, I'm going to talk about when you're in these manufactured modular homes, some of them will have panels for walls and some will have drywall. This one is almost all drywall, which is so much nicer than the panels. And you can kind of see this bathroom has the panels. So you can see the little strips where they connect the panels, and they have that weird wallpaper on them usually. Just looks so much better to have the real drywall. Tub, which is very yellow and discolored, so we might have to do something there. And then there's shower. Which really is not in horrible shape. And your toilet right there. All right, so the real issue on this house, I'll show you, is the back. And so we're in what is technically called Gailton, Colorado, which is east of Greeley. Like I said, 10 or 15 miles or so. It's very, very windy out here. And you can see that by looking at the back of the house. They obviously did some work on it, but it is not uncommon to see properties out here with siding blown off, lots of the roof blown off. You can see the roof on there. It's missing a bunch of shingles, and it happens quite often just because it's so windy out here. You actually see a lot of metal roofs in this area to prevent them from blowing off. And then the hardboard siding is just so much better than the cheap vinyl stuff. This stuff just is so flimsy. So we do have to do some siding work, obviously, and new roof. That'll really be kind of the majority of the cost on this one, is re-siding the whole house. And you can kind of tell here, I don't know if they had a window or something there at some point, who knows. And then finally, we'll see if we get lucky, because I didn't bring my key with me, if the garage opens. Oh, look at that. This is a very nice feature of the property. They listed it as a 4-car garage because it's so deep. And technically you could probably get 4 cars in here if this little area wasn't there. But really nice having outbuildings, extra garages with the properties out here in the country. A lot of times you'll find just a manufactured home on its own in the middle of dirt. And just the garages, having the fenced yard. You know, there's not much in the way of grass back there from what I remember, but still, just all those little features really help the properties feel like more of a house than just a kind of a shack stuck out in the middle of nowhere. So, other random stuff left here for us to clean up. All right, that is the property. We will get our roofer out here, get someone to come side it, get flooring, paint kind of scheduled, and then probably have one of our contractors do some of the minor drywall, counters, things like that. And it should be hopefully a fairly quick and easy project once we get everything cleaned up. We had to take a bunch of junk off this property. So if you look at the before video, I think we had 4 or 5 of those dumpsters full of stuff. And I'll link to that in the description. But for everyone familiar with my camper story, we do have another camper. Unfortunately, this one came with the property. We knew it was here. No one dumped it here. But it looks about, in as good a shape as the other camper that someone dumped on one of my properties. All right, and I will show you here. We'll look around the back. But we're re-siding the whole house. And we have the siding already sitting in here. You can see the giant pile of it. Got that from Home Depot. And because of our bid room, our managed pro account, I think the materials for that siding was around $6,000. And after going through the bid room, $2,600 is what Home Depot charged us for that siding. So you can get some huge discounts when you have the pro account, use their bid room. Their listed price is not always what you're gonna get in materials. And over here, full of junk. So almost all that's cleaned up. which is nice. We had a bomb cyclone come through last week, a huge low pressure weather system. I was actually on vacation in Florida, which was nice, but 80-mile-per-hour winds and snow, but it's almost all gone now. All right, so here's what we've done inside so far. You can see flooring, paint is done. Still have to put doors up, outlet covers, things like that. But the majority of it is done. The kitchen, we kept those old cabinets. They're not amazing, but we can touch them up and make them work. That'll save us quite a bit of money as opposed to putting in a brand new kitchen. We'll get the appliances in there too. We have one of our employees, hourly guys, doing this job. So that always saves us a bunch of money over using a general contractor. He comes in, lays the floor, does the paint, puts on counters, doors, things like that. And then we have our subs come in, lay carpet. We'll put carpet in the bedrooms. We'll have the plumber come do his plumbing stuff. We had to do the roof. So had our roofer come in, do the roof already. And I'm trying to think, we have another painter too who we use on other projects, but on this one our guy likes to paint, so he does the painting himself. We also removed the popcorn from the ceiling. Looks a lot better there. This room was the nasty room that had all the carpet and animals in it, and yeah, we're gonna have to do some more work on this floor. It's just crazy how much they use that for their bathroom. All right. Back this way is the master bedroom. And yeah, little office here. And here's the master. So we're leaving these, but we're gonna put a new countertop on. And then we took out the old ugly giant, not really giant, more like wide but not deep manufactured tub. We're just going to put a regular tub in there with kind of a wide counter around it. It's just really hard to find those giant things and they're pretty ugly. So that, the shower surround, we're just leaving. It's not in bad of shape. The skylights actually weren't leaking, which is always nice. And I'll show you the back of the house too. Why we need the new siding. Yep, that's why. So you can see they put the new roof on already, but siding's kind of the next job. They're tearing it off right now. Replace all that, get it painted, finish up some of the inside details, and we'll be ready to go. You can see we painted the outside, redid the siding, redid the roof. Was in pretty bad shape when we bought it, and we have the before video that I'll link to in the description. Before we get started, of course, check out investormore.com for much more information on my flips, rentals, all that good stuff. I have a really cool article. This came out today on buying versus renting, which is like 6,000 words, so check that one out. We bought this house for $270,000 from the MLS. It was listed for $290,000. It is out in the country, as you can see. I'm in northern Colorado. This is about 10 to 15 miles east of Eaton, Colorado. And there is 24 acres of land out here. So you can't do a whole lot with it because there's no really water for irrigation or anything. But if you like a lot of land and possibly rattlesnakes, then it's a great place to be. Of course, the camper is still here. everybody follows my camper stories, but our contractor is going to get rid of that very soon so that we can list it. Something else is we might not have to list this because the contractor who did a lot of the work on this wants to buy it himself. So there's actually a few things in here that really bug me that I'll show you. But he said he's going to buy it. We've agreed to a price. So I can't complain too much because he's going to be the one living here. So I'll show you those. But we're thinking right around $400,000 is what it'll be worth. Spent probably $35,000 on the repairs. And didn't have to do too much inside except for cosmetic stuff. We redid the floors, redid the paint, light fixtures. That light fixture right there really bugs me. That's okay. This is a manufactured home, so it's, you know, two halves of a house were brought over here on a truck and then put together and put on a real foundation. So it has a concrete foundation, permanent foundation, and it can be financed with FHA. Quite a few conventional lenders will finance them if they're on permanent foundations and permanently affixed to the ground. If they're a mobile home, which means they still have axles, aren't attached, then it becomes much trickier. I know you guys had asked me to show this room, the wonderful manufactured furnace, which is really loud for some reason, but we had it all checked out and everything, and our HVAC guy said it's fine. The kitchen, these cabinets were already in here, so one way we saved money just kind of touching them up with some stain. Our guy did his counters, just laminate with wood, which isn't my favorite, but actually looks really good with the cabinets, and then you'd have to do kind of granite because of that bar, the irregular shape of the counter, so that was the cheapest, most cost-effective way to go. This property being in the country with 24 acres does not have to be perfect to sell. Now we still want to make them nice and safe and everything, but it doesn't need granite counters, it doesn't need lots of fancy stuff. In fact, you know, it's going to be nicer than 95% of modular homes out here with the paint, carpet. It's actually got drywall and sheetrock. A lot of these properties will have kind of the panels that are really ugly with really ugly wallpaper on them. So that's already done. That was nice. We didn't have to do that. Has 3 bedrooms on this side, and the master bedrooms on the other side. So redid the vanity. Still needs cleaned, as you can see. That tub was already here, just cleaned it up. And the flooring. Here's one of the other bedrooms. You can see kind of our blue tape and spots where the paint needs touched up. Didn't have to do windows, didn't have to do doors. That all saves us money. And something else we've always tried to do is have as many subs as possible. And our contractor, who's actually an employee of ours, he's full-time for us, does a ton of different work for us. He really likes to paint, but it's so much easier to have our painters come in here and do stuff, and they usually do a slightly better job. And then we can have our contractor focusing on more skilled, not that painting's not a skilled job, but other things that the painters can't do, other people can't do. That saves us so much time. So the painters did do the outside, but our contractor did the inside. All right, just about all this materials and everything is from Home Depot. The floors, the paint, the light fixtures. With our Manage Pro account, we save a ton of money there. It also has kind of this office separate room right here. So one nice thing about these manufactured homes is they usually have quite a bit of space in them. You know, they're definitely cheaper to bring out and put together than building from scratch, and definitely bigger than most of the stick-built homes you see for the same price. And here, this is something that really bothers me. Well, first off, there's no door to the master bath, which my little arrow is supposed to indicate that. But every time I walk in this room, I just get like, the vinyl's not straight. And I don't know why he did that, but it makes me feel like all the walls are crooked and all the cabinets are crooked. and it drives me crazy. And Nikki, my project manager, was just saying how it doesn't bother her, but it really bothers me. So that's something, if he doesn't buy it, we've got to fix that and redo that, because that just, I don't know why it's like that. And the other thing that bothers me is this tub. They had one of the big giant manufactured home tubs in it, which really isn't that big, but the space they use is big. So we got a nice, decent tub, but then he put like vinyl around it with carpet threshold for the stairs, which I think is kind of wonky looking. So, and that vinyl's not, let me look. I'm trying to see. I can't tell for sure. Well, it is straight on that wall. So I think part of the reason why I did this, to give him some credit, is you can see that wall is straight. Look at that line. It's like half an inch off. So these walls are not straight. So that could be why he had a hard time making the floor straight, but there might be a better way to lay it out so that it doesn't look quite so crazy. That's the master bath. And then we'll take a look out back to the before video. You'll see that the siding was basically gone on most of the back of the house. So we had to reside it. It really wasn't that expensive. The siding we got from Home Depot, I think was $3,000 for the materials. And our guy could put it up. See lots of sagebrushes out here. Not many neighbors, that's nice. But all the siding was just falling off. And it was the vinyl siding, which I really don't like, because it does just one piece breaks off and the rest of it will blow off in the wind. It's really windy out here. And you'll see the roofs blow off all the time. A lot of people have metal roofs because of that. We put on a regular shingle roof, which is still has a warranty and guaranteed, because metal's much more expensive than just the shingles. And we still need to get gutters on the outside too. That is ordered as well to come out. And then the garage right here, new siding, new roof on that garage as well. They listed this as a 4-car garage when I bought it, but it's only 2 wide, and I think it's quite deep enough to be 4. I guess if you had small cars maybe, but it's a good size, definitely a good size building. And you could get a few cars in here, and there's a little kind of workshop back here. That stove was in the living room when I bought it, and you can see that. They actually used that for the heat for the house. So when we first looked at it, there were a couple older ladies living here, dogs everywhere, smelled really bad. That was their only source of heat. And we had our HVAC guy come check out everything, assuming we'd have to replace the furnace since they're not using it. And he said at some point, someone had simply turned the switch off on the furnace, and that's why it didn't work. So he turned the switch on, cleaned it up, and it worked fine. So we took that out and just left it out here in case somebody ever wants to use it. And we left a little note where the gas line would be to show people, hey, gas line here. All right, so that was the property. You can see the before, progress, after, what we did to fix it, repair it. It was a fairly simple one that went without a lot of hiccups, which rarely happens. And we did end up selling it to our contractor, so we didn't have real estate commissions, didn't take very long to sell it. Maybe we could have sold it for a little more, but it was a huge advantage to sell it to our contractor, save time, save commission. He was happy, he got a good deal, so worked out great for all sides. So now we'll take you straight to the numbers and show you exactly what we made, what we spent on it, and all of that good stuff. All right, here are the numbers on this flip. As I said, it was a really good one. Made quite a bit of money compared to what we've been doing the last year or two. We did have a really good high-end flip we did a couple years ago, but that was a very risky situation. If you search Invest for More and high-end flip, I have a bunch of videos on that property. I think we bought it for $535,000, ended up selling it for $802,000 and made over $100,000 on it. But it was not a crazy rehab, but a crazy situation with a tenant and a foreclosure. It was nuts, and we've made over $100,000 on a couple others that were country properties as well, but that was years and years ago when I was flipping with my dad, so I don't have videos on those. But yeah, very good flip for us, very happy with it. And here are the basic numbers. Bought for $270,000, sold for $397. We actually had it under contract for $399, but the appraisal came in slightly lower, so not a big deal to us. But I think it would have been sold for more than that. Had we put it on the market, it's hard to know how much more. And you can say, hey, the appraisal came in low, it wouldn't have sold for that much. But a lot of times the appraiser will base their value on what the contract price is, even though they really shouldn't. It happens. So it could have sold for more had we put it on the market, but it worked out great for us and our contractor. And total costs were right around $60,000. We'll go over all of those here. All right, financing costs. So I use private money. So an investor I know, a friend here in town, 10% interest, 2 points. So we pay 10% as long as we have the loan. And then the points are basically 2% of the loan cost is paid up front as an origination fee, is how we do it. So the total financing cost is over $15,000. We held this property for 4.5 months, around there. Really fast house flip for us. Another really nice reason it was to sell to our contractor, so we didn't have to wait for marketing, have the chance it came back on the market. Who knows what could have happened, but going quickly on flips is a huge advantage over trying to get the absolute most money you can. Our repairs on this one, the roof was very expensive because we had to do the house and the big garage, and it was in very bad shape. The siding, it's hard to put a number on this because our contractor is an employee of ours and works for hourly wage, so I don't know exactly how much time he spent on the siding. This is an estimate, but we know how much total time he spent there, and we paid him. We kind of divided that up in the costs. But a couple $1,000s of material from Home Depot, labor to put up, had to paint the siding, paint the interior, flooring, appliances. Cleanup was expensive because we need like 4 of those dumpsters at $400 a piece, plus the time it takes to fill them. Did some electrical work, not a lot. Plumbing, we redid, both of those bathrooms, not all the way, but did quite a bit of work in there. And then miscellaneous stuff that our contractor did, lights, some of the doors, countertops, vanities, things like that he did inside. Some minor things he did in the garage, things like that. And our total repair was right around the $37,000 mark there. So we also have carrying costs, which are often left out on these videos that you may see from television, other sites. But property taxes on this, you probably won't believe me, but we literally paid like $136 in property taxes on this property while we owned it. And that's because it was in the country. And when we bought it, it wasn't officially purged to the land. So what that means is when you have a manufactured home, you kind of drive it out there on a trailer, and it is considered a vehicle at that point. And you have to put it on a foundation and purge it, which means you tie it to the land permanently. Well, that process wasn't completed all the way when we bought it, so only the land was being taxed. That was it. And it was like $300 and some a year. Now the taxes will go up after we completed the purging process, but when we had it, that's how low the taxes were. Utilities, I think we had to fill up the propane tank once, had some electrical bills. Insurance, property insurance while we own the property. So our carrying costs were very low on this as well. Because we don't have money taxes, there's no HOA. We didn't really have to do any maintenance out there. We didn't have to mow the lawn or shovel snow because it's way out in the country. So that was nice too. All right, selling costs. Paying for title insurance, closing fees, and then we had to purge the title. So we had to send in some paperwork to the state, do some other clerical things to get that done. Took a little while, but it wasn't super expensive. Had to pay an engineer to go out there and verify the foundation was correct, and that was done. And then had some other miscellaneous closing costs, flood certifications, recording fees, things like that. We had no real estate commission, which we have on almost all of our flips because almost all of our buyers are represented by another agent. I'm an agent. We can list them ourselves without paying commission, but almost every house we sell has another agent. And some people say, well, why don't you just sell it yourself? Well, sure, that'd be awesome if I was out there looking for buyers all the time and had time to do that. But even then, if I'm not selling it to other agents, I'm excluding 90% of the buyers out there, even if I was hustling all day long looking for buyers. And that almost every time a house is going to sell for more money if you're paying other agents. And even though you have that commission cost, it makes up for it because it's marketed to more people and they'll pay more money for it. But on this one, we got lucky. So those are your total selling costs and our total profit. So we sold for $397, subtracted what we bought it for, subtract our costs, and this little bonus here, because when I bought it, I made a commission because it's listed on the MLS. We made over $75,000 on this flip. So fantastic property. Great deal. Wish I could find 20 more of them like it, but they're not always easy to find, especially in the country like that. They're very rare and that need work that isn't crazy rehab, but still looks really ugly to a lot of people. All right, so that's what we've got for this video. Thank you, everyone, for watching it. Hope you appreciate it. Hopefully I did my math right this time. On one of the other ones, I realized I did my math wrong after I published it, so sorry about that. But this one should be right. Of course, we appreciate the thumbs up, the comments if you have them. We try to respond to everybody's questions. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so you get notified of new videos coming out. And as I mentioned a few times, investformore.com has a lot of articles, lists all our flips we've done in the last 3 or 4 years, which is over 80 of them right now. And all my rentals as well are on there too. So we'll be back with more videos coming up soon, and we'll try and do as many of these before and afters as we can.